For centuries, the galaxy's empires had whispered about Earth. The small blue world was dismissed as primitive, a species barely crawling out of its own gravity well. They mocked the human fleets, calling them relics of a bygone era. The Council of 12 Worlds laughed whenever the Terran Union sent ambassadors to their meetings. They saw Earth's cautious diplomacy as weakness, its modest fleets as outdated relics of iron and pride. But the humans never corrected them. They listened, watched, learned. They smiled when called backward. They took notes when the arrogant empires displayed their fleets. And in the silence of deep space, far from the eyes of others, they built something else, something hidden behind the quiet mask of peace. The Galactic Alliance first encountered Earth's defensive fleet near the Orion border. The patrol commander, Admiral Voron, had expected a routine inspection. His flagship, the radiant cruiser Solareth, carried more firepower than all of Earth's known ships combined. When Earth's small flotilla appeared on his sensors, he laughed. "Is this all the Terrans have?" he said, watching the distant formation drift in orderly lines. Their ships were smaller, colder in design, their hulls a dull gray that reflected no light. No insignias, no gilded edges, no ceremonial banners like those that draped the Alliance vessels. His aide, a young lieutenant, smirked. "They think symmetry makes them strong, Admiral. Perhaps they believe neat lines will frighten us." The Admiral smiled. "Let them pretend." Across the void, the human flagship Resolute moved at steady speed. Inside, Commander Holt stood at the central console, his hands clasped behind his back. He did not speak as his crew monitored the encroaching Alliance ships. He had seen this kind of arrogance before. From the moment humanity had reached for the stars, others had tried to put them back in their place. "Transmit our greeting," Holt said calmly. The message was short and respectful, just as all Terran communications were. But the Alliance replied with silence. Then, moments later, they fired a single plasma warning shot across the Resolute's bow. The bridge fell into tense quiet. The crew looked to Holt. "Maintain course," he said softly. "No retaliation. Not yet." The Alliance ships circled like predators, their gleaming hulls reflecting the light of the nearby star. The Admiral's laughter echoed through the open channel. "Terrans, return to your system. The border is closed. You have no authority here." Commander Holt's voice was calm. "We are not here for conquest. We are here to respond to the distress call your fleets ignored. A colony on Ryden IV is under attack." The Admiral chuckled. "That colony belongs to the Council. You have no place there. Leave before we show you real power." The channel closed. For a moment, silence. Then Holt turned to his tactical officer. "Prepare the fleet." "Sir, we are outnumbered 7-1. "Yes," Holt replied. "They will see what numbers mean to those who think power is measured in arrogance." The humans had developed a different kind of warfare. They called it adaptive combat. Machines that learned, drones that thought, ships that rewrote their own combat code in real time. The galaxy had seen ships with faster drives, stronger shields, and brighter weapons, but never something that could think as humans did. When the first Alliance barrage came, thousands of plasma bolts streaked through space. Human ships took the hits silently. Shields flared, adjusted, then dimmed. Moments later, the Terran formation shifted in impossible precision, each vessel moving as if guided by a single mind. The Admiral frowned. "What are they doing?" Then the Resolute vanished. No warp trail, no signal, just gone. Before the Admiral could react, a warning flashed across his bridge. One of his destroyers exploded. Then another. The tactical map became chaos. The humans had reappeared behind his formation, moving at velocities no known engine could sustain. "Impossible," the Admiral roared. "Their drives can't handle that jump." But the Terran ships did not answer. They moved like hunters, calm, silent, efficient. Where Alliance ships fired blindly, human gunners targeted reactor nodes, sensor arrays, and command decks. Every shot was deliberate, every strike a message. For the first time in centuries, the mighty fleets of the Alliance were not in control. By the time the Admiral ordered retreat, half his formation was gone. The humans did not pursue. They simply halted, their ships holding position like sentinels of judgment. Then a message came through the static. "This engagement is over. Return to your world. Tell them Earth does not seek war, but neither will it kneel." The message ended. The Admiral's flagship limped away. His once proud fleet was a shadow of itself. The Council called it an unfortunate misunderstanding, but whispers spread across the stars. Worlds that once laughed at Earth began to reconsider their tone. Still, arrogance dies slowly. Months later, a coalition formed. 5 great empires, each older than Earth's entire recorded history, joined forces to teach the Terrans respect. They assembled over 1,000 warships. When Earth learned of it, no panic followed. The Terran Union merely sent a single fleet, the first Expeditionary Defense Force. 20 ships. Nothing more. The galaxy mocked them again. The Coalition Armada gathered near the edge of the Perseus Rift, where gravity storms could shred unshielded vessels. They waited, confident that no Terran fleet could navigate such a region. But the humans did not come through normal space. They came through the rift itself. Sensors screamed as the void tore open. The Resolute led the way, its hull glowing with strange patterns of blue light. Behind it, 19 Terran warships emerged, silent and steady. Their weapons were dormant, their movements unnervingly calm. "Identify that energy signature," one coalition officer demanded. No one could. Human technology defied every known equation. Their ships carried no reactors anyone could detect, no energy trails that could be tracked. Then a voice came through open channels again, the same voice as before. "This is Commander Holt of the Terran Union. You assembled a fleet to destroy us. You will have your answer." The coalition fired first. Thousands of beams lanced through space, striking the human ships from every direction. But the bolts vanished before they made contact. Space itself shimmered, distorting around the Terran formation. The energy simply dissolved. "What are they using?" cried one captain. Then the Terrans answered. A single pulse fired from the Resolute. It wasn't light, it wasn't plasma. It was something else, a silent ripple that moved across the battlefield. Coalition ships froze. Their systems went dark. Engines failed. Weapons died. Communications fell silent. One by one, entire capital ships drifted powerless, their lights extinguished like candles in a storm. Only then did the human voice return. "You measured strength in weapons. We measure it in control. You mocked our fleets. You saw metal and forgot the mind behind it." The human ships moved among the wrecks, scanning but never finishing the helpless vessels. Then, as if satisfied, they vanished again, slipping through folds of space like ghosts returning to legend. When the survivors finally regained control, the Terrans were gone. No trail, no signal, only silence. The coalition disbanded within months. The council fractured under fear. New whispers rose across the galaxy, about the humans who fought like ghosts and struck with thought instead of rage. But for Earth, it was never about vengeance. In the orbit above their homeworld, the Resolute floated quietly beside the great defense ring that circled Earth. Its crew disembarked without fanfare. No celebrations, no parades. Humanity had learned long ago that peace was not given. It was enforced by restraint and readiness. Commander Holt stood before the viewing window, watching the blue world turn beneath him. He knew more battles would come. The galaxy feared what it could not understand, and humanity's strength was not just in its machines. It was in its refusal to break. In the years that followed, human fleets patrolled distant borders. They carried aid, not conquest. They brought rebuilding materials to war-torn colonies, medical supplies to wounded species, and warnings to those who thought domination was power. Slowly, grudgingly, the galaxy began to listen. Some said the humans were terrifying because they didn't act like conquerors. They didn't demand tribute or territory. They only demanded respect. And when respect was denied, the stars themselves seemed to tremble. Generations later, a historian of the council would write in secret journals about that first encounter. His words would echo across archives, hidden and forbidden. "We mocked their ships because we saw steel, not will. We laughed at their small fleets because we thought size was might. But when their engines burned, we learned the truth. Earth does not build weapons to conquer. It builds them so that no one else dares to." And so the legend spread, from the distant edges of the rim to the shining worlds of the core. When children of alien empires asked why their rulers feared the quiet blue world, the answer was always the same, because when the humans came, the stars learned humility, and when they left, the galaxy finally understood what real power looked like.